This season of Secret Sunshine is sponsored by Nico Coastal Homes. Nicole Arnett is one of the top realtors on the coast. She's detail-oriented, resourceful, unfiltered, and as you'll hear later, a big fan of spray-painted art. Find her at nicolearnett.ca or grab a link in the show notes. So Ben, we're rolling now, both literally the paint and the audio.
Nice.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Why don't you say who you are and what you do out here?
My name is Ben Tour. I'm a visual artist living in Gibsons on the Sunshine Coast. That's me.
You might not know Ben Tour, but I guarantee you've seen his work somewhere on the coast. The Eagles at Cedar Grove Elementary, the murals at Beachcombers Coffee, the wall sign for Reasons to Live, books and records. There's a ton more examples to be found. Ben's work carries an unmistakable urban energy. Big walls, bold colors, sharp lines. It's work that feels more like graffiti than gallery. Or gallery level graffiti, if that makes any sense. There's something about Ben's style that somehow fits the coast vibe, maybe even helps define the culture. And today, I'm asking Ben to throw all that away and do something with me that betrays everything he believes in. Can you talk about what we're doing?
Yeah. So we're buffing out all the existing graffiti that's here and putting a fresh coat of buff on here.
So here's the thing. This summer, a big sidewall of the Gibsons Curling Club got bombed with graffiti. I'm a member of the Gibsons Curling Club board, so I took on the job of cleaning it up. And because Ben is part of the graffiti community here, I asked him if he could help.
Then I get that maybe like 1% of people on the coast, even less, probably have any kind of affinity towards it. And it's just like an eyesore that pisses people off.
Now, just to be clear, Ben didn't agree to help out just to placate the people who may not like graffiti in general. He's actually helping out because the curling club usually encourages graffiti here.
The curling rink, though, and a couple other spots on the coast have always been kind of legal walls for graph writers to kind of do their thing and like paint productions. A production would be something that's more like planned out, larger scale, more refined. And then stuff like this that we're painting over would be sort of like more, it would be called bombing. So it's just like people hitting up random graffiti, putting up their name or whatever they're doing.
And so if Ben and I are spending our day painting over this sidewall of the club, it's an attempt at finding balance between walls that are meant for art and walls that are meant to stay clean.
And just for the record, I'd like to say that I actually really like how this wall looks, just the randomness of it and like the story that's being told.
So that's what we're doing in today's episode. We're painting a wall, learning about how art shapes Ben's life, and exploring how graffiti is as much part of the coast as cedars and seashores. I'm Dominic Girard, and this is Secret Sunshine, the podcast about the folks who make the most of living on the Sunshine Coast. This episode, Graffiti Tour. If you're a regular listener of the podcast, by now you know that this season I'm trying to put out video editions of the episodes as they come out. If you haven't checked that out yet, maybe give this one a try because it looks a little different. It was recorded while Ben and I were painting that entire wall, so you can see the work in progress as we chat. We even take a moment and go walk around to the back of the building where you can see all the great graffiti pieces that cover that entire space. So take a look, find it at YouTube or at Spotify. There are links, of course, in the show notes to get you there. Check it out and let me know what you think. Ben, how did you get into graffiti?
Yeah, just growing up in Toronto, taking the subway. I can remember seeing my first tags.
Tell me about that.
It was a cyber tag. That was like the first tag that really stood out to me. It was this guy, I found out later, it was this guy Ren from Toronto, R-E-N. And it was just done really well. It was legible, but yeah, just done with some skill and some thought. Like it wasn't his first rodeo putting up his name. So
Were you like a teenager at the time?
yeah,
or-
for sure. Teenager just taking the subway downtown to buy comics.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a no-brainer.
Well, what was going on with you in your head where you're like, yeah, graffiti? I mean, you have the culture that you're interested in, but to go, I want to do that. Do you
Yeah.
remember what
Yeah,
triggered
yeah.
you outside of seeing it?
Yeah, just the people I was hanging out with, my high school.
Yeah.
Everyone was into rap. Everyone was into art. Everyone was into graffiti. So some people got good really fast. Some people like myself sucked for a really long time.
Did you?
Oh man, yeah, I was trash.
Why,
yeah,
why were you trash?
Yeah, you just practice makes perfect.
Okay. Yeah. Do you remember the first thing you bombed? I imagine
Yeah.
bombing was the first thing you
Yeah.
tried.
I have a photo of it at home.
Do you?
It was a green vampire giving the peace symbol.
What'd you paint it on?
It was on a wall similar to this in
Yeah.
Scarborough with some friends right on the GO train line. And yeah, we went super late at night. I remember it just being a fun rush.
Yeah.
And being addicted and wanted to do more and everyone just feeding off each other's energy. And yeah, I think I painted that same outline, the vampire with the peace symbol, like 2 or 3 more times, and then it evolved into something else.
Yeah.
But I was really insecure about it all because other people were so much better than me.
Oh, wow.
Kind of didn't have a lot of confidence at first when I was younger because I thought I sucked so much.
In general or at graffiti?
Yeah, no, in general,
Yeah.
I didn't think my art was that great. I was kind of insecure about it just because I grew up around so many people that were so talented. But then I just stuck with it. And the only thing I wanted to do was get better. So just kept doing it.
Did you think I'm going to be an artist growing up for the rest of my life pretty quick? Or is it more of a journey? Because it's very much a part of your life still today, obviously.
Yeah, no, I'd be really lost without art. Yeah, I never really thought about it. It's just really been something that I've always done. I didn't think of it as a career. It's still not really even a career for me. It's really essentially who I am as a person. So
Would you say that your art is your ultimate expression of your identity then?
absolutely.
So does painting over graffiti hurt your identity a little bit right now?
Yeah, definitely.
That's
I
it?
mean, there's kind of a fuck the buff mentality.
Yeah.
And now we're buffing out
And now we're
graffiti.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, it kind of hurts. But that's the nature of graffiti.
Should it be considered ephemeral, you think? Or
I mean, I grew up, there's some of my favorite things maybe lasted, 4 to 10 hours, like I'd
wow.
put in hours of work on a piece and love it and not even get a photograph
Yeah.
or get a shitty photograph.
Yeah.
And then, you show up the next day to get a better photograph and someone's already destroyed it.
Oh, man.
So that's all part of the process.
So how does a young urban man grow up and move to the Sunshine Coast? How did that journey happen?
Well, I took the bus across the country in maybe 1999 when I
Whoa.
graduated from art school.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love BC. Kind of traveled around BC, the island. Was in band for a while, and it was August, so it was real easy to fall in love with this place. And went back to Toronto, and then one of my close friends moved out here, so he was emailing me photos of like Secret Beach, saying like, "Yeah, man, you should come back out west." And I didn't really have a whole lot going on in Toronto, so
Yeah.
I came out to visit him. First day, went to Gospel Rock. And it was, the sun opened up and it was like, wow, this place is unreal. So I don't know, I fell in love with this place. It's just quickly found a community of friends, and whether it was through graffiti or hip hop culture. The curling rink ties into this story because my first job out here was working on the new Beachcombers, which was a pilot to try to
Reboot?
Yeah, the reboot. So a lot of the sets were inside the curling rink because the film industry rented it.
Oh my God.
And yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, I begged my way into that crew and got on doing scenic painting for the new Beachcombers. So we were working in the curling rink and down at Molly's Reach.
Yeah.
And that led me into getting work. And yeah, now I live here. Never really looked back.
What would your style, like what kind of stuff were you mostly focused on illustrating and drawing before you moved to the coast? And how did that shift, if it did, when you moved to a more rural place?
So I don't think my work has really changed all that much.
No?
I mean, it's evolved a little bit, but I think if you look at my work in the last couple of years, there's definitely more influence from nature, for sure.
Yeah. Come on over here.
Yeah, let me catch up to you. I obviously can't do two things at once, right? I can't talk and paint at the same time.
No, it's okay. Your job mostly is to talk.
Okay.
People on the coast who don't know you by name, Ben, they've seen your work though. You've got work out at the Beachcomber coffee shop in Lower Gibsons, right?
Yeah.
You got a piece at the Cedar Grove playing field there, the school.
Yep.
I think you have a piece at Capilano University too in Seashell. Do I have that right?
Capilano University, yeah. Got a big wall there. Where else? Tidal Jiu-Jitsu, the vet that's by Tim Hortons. Then the wall behind there as well. That's more my like self-directed stuff.
Yeah.
So the vet is kind of an example of being directed by a client for the front, and then in the back, being self-directed, doing whatever I want. I was really inspired by that back wall. I've been driving past it for like 15 years, being like, damn, that wall needs to get some art on it.
Yeah.
Just the shape of the wall inspired me. It looked like a comic book cover. It's portrait, and I had to do it.
What did you paint in the end?
It's a female portrait, kind of a cool pose. I wanted to not only do the face, but it involves some like hands in there too.
Yeah.
I remember one of my teachers was always like, if you shy away from doing hands and feet, you suck. You got to be able to draw hands and feet, not just faces. So that's always kind of stuck in my head.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some nice hands in there. It's just a cool female portrait. Go check it out.
Okay, so we put the primer down on this wall that we're painting over.
Yeah.
Boss man, we gotta let this dry for a bit before we top coat it?
Totally. Not long.
Half an hour?
Sticky. Yeah, about half hour we should be able to not do it.
Okay. That's Dave at Holdfast Paint. Dave also volunteered to help Ben and me get that wall painted, and it's thanks to him that we got it done so quickly and done so well. Dave, on behalf of the Curling Club, thanks very much for your help. Check out Dave at Holdfast Paint for any work that you need done. Nico, how do you feel about the graffiti that we see on the coast?
Oh, there's some graffiti I miss terribly. I don't know who remembers the underground grandma's pub parkade before it got boarded up, but there was some spectacular astrology-based graffiti that I miss on the daily.
It's thanks to the generosity of local sponsors like Nicole Arnett at Nico Coastal Homes that this podcast just keeps rolling on. I don't think I remember. What did it look like?
It was every sign, horribly mangled. It was the best graffiti, and it was the worst graffiti. It was the Charles Dickens of graffiti. It was so upsetting and awesome. Where is he?
While we were chatting, Nico reached for her phone. She started digging through it, trying to dig up this photo that she took of one particular piece of unforgettable Sunshine Coast graffiti history. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So help me out here. It's Sagittarius, which is my birth sign, and it is a bearded centaur who, tell me more, like who's got like...
I don't even want to say it.
Yeah, if you are watching the video edition of this podcast, we'll put her up on the screen right now, and you can make your own decision about...
Yeah. And that was the first graffiti, I guess, I saw on the coast. And I was like, yep, I love this place. Wherever we are, whatever this town is, I love this.
I think the best realtors anywhere are people who plug in deeply and engage with their community. And Nico is one of the biggest champions of this community that I know. She really knows how to paint a picture of this place. And she also really knows simple ways to sell it too.
Paint can work miracles. We all know this. Paint is the cheapest way to renovate your house. Like, the best way to instantly improve a space or change a space entirely is paint. The healing powers of paint are amazing. And I also, personally, as a buyer, love buying a place with bad paint because that makes that house not as presentable and people see it as a negative. It's, oh my gosh, there's so much work to do, when really it's just a wall that you don't like the color of. It's the easiest thing to change. It adds the most value.
The persuasion of paint.
The persuasion of paint.
That's Nico with Nico Coastal Homes. With her, you get genuine, unvarnished insight on what it's like to live here. Find her at nicolearnett.ca or grab a link in the show notes. Now, let's get back to my conversation with Ben Tour, a conversation in which I try to prove that, in fact, it can be fun to watch paint dry.
So I thought we'd take a second while the primer's drying to go to the back wall of the curling club.
Yeah.
This piece in the corner, this is this you?
Yeah. This is
Paint?
the Hall of Fame back here. Yeah, it was just a bunch of
How many
weirdos painting back here.
how many pieces do you think there are back here?
Well, usually you can sort of, this would be one production.
Yeah.
This is a multiple weirdo production right here.
Looks like a maze almost.
Yeah, for sure. These are some pretty funky letters.
It's got like a Pac-Man ghost vibe on this one.
Yeah, kind of 80s flavor.
Yeah.
For sure. Love it. This one's brand new. That one's this summer. This one's a couple years ago.
Do you know all these guys? Do you know some of them?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is all condoned work, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You were saying earlier that like when you see a blank wall, it's like it needs something. Why does a blank wall drive you crazy?
I just see the potential, and
Yeah.
it's what I love seeing graffiti. Even, unfortunately, even if it is bombing, I love to see it too. I love to see style. I don't know, I get older, I'm almost 50, and I just look at every wall like, damn, I'd like to smash that, you know? So,
What do you think it adds to the town?
it adds culture, it adds, I mean, what doesn't it add? Look at this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I get it that people don't like bombing, they don't like seeing tags, and some people don't. Anything that, like, spray cans are kind of associated with vandalizing shit, people kind of hate it. But also, this town's changing. There's more young people coming here that kind of grew up with graffiti too, so they're more appreciative of it and, you know, more accepting. So yeah, it'd be cool if even other businesses said, hey, yeah, guys, paint traditional graffiti on the side of my wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that'd be cool too. And I think it's possible. You know, obviously a lot of this stuff is self-directed, so it's just people doing their thing for the culture. But where I grew up, businesses would be like, sure, yeah, paint a wall, do your graffiti here. So maybe that could happen here. I'm not sure.
Did you ever get in trouble growing up?
A little bit at school when I first started, just because I was really stupid. But
What does that mean?
just tagging stuff and getting caught and getting ratted out, you know. But yeah, I don't know. As you get older, you just get more slick with it. And in my mid-30s, I got kind of roasted. But
What happened?
A little. Yeah. My mom's gonna listen to this. Plus, my kids are gonna listen to this. So.
Is that a pass?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. It was bad. I went down for a night at the jail, so it wasn't too much fun. But whatever. It was a long time ago. It was a slap on the wrist and no charges. So
I mean, it makes me want to know what happened, but if you don't want to answer it, that's fine. I'm just gonna.
I mean, just hanging out with a friend, getting busy with it, and just stupid with a spray can and just getting ratted out and got surrounded by cops and did a night in the tank. So yeah, could have been worse, I guess.
I'm just got surrounded by cops. I'm sort of picturing a movie scene.
Yeah, it was a little bit movie for sure.
So what, you're up on a wall or something? And
No, it was stupid. It was like a bus. We were like
Okay.
painting a parked bus.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about as far as I'm going to go with that story.
Okay, fair enough. I guess I'm looking for the visuals, but it's fine.
Parked bus, cops, handcuffs, paddy wagon, jail, hangover.
No rinse and repeat.
Nah.
No. You were mentioning earlier before we started this painting over project today that like people maybe not understand how world-class some of the artists are on the coast who come and paint these walls.
Mhm.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just this wall's been being painted by people for over 20 years. So
Yeah.
different amazing graph writers have lived in Vancouver, have come over here because it's, you know, a quick little rip to the coast where there's this big giant legal wall that can hang out for a day and, you know, barbecue, have some drinks, play music, have an amazing day with your friends painting graffiti. And so, yeah, people have come over. And the history of this wall and also Molly's Reach is a lot of legendary people have painted it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
He's reaching me like the parking area, right?
yeah, the parking area down there. That's
Yeah.
also a legal wall. And yeah, just the history of writers. I mean, damn, somebody's probably got flicks going back of all the stuff that's been painted there, but it could have been documented a lot better.
Right.
I mean, it could have been a coffee table book at this point with all the amount of talent that has rolled through the Sunshine Coast. But yeah.
That's a layer of defining the coast that I hadn't really thought about before.
Mhm.
Right. There's the obvious, like off the cuff cliches. There's whales in the water and there's deers in the yard and there's black bears and it's
Yeah.
rural and there's trees and it's chill and it's quiet. But also like the graffiti art scene is top of the line. And if you're in that scene in Vancouver, the coast is a destination for painting.
Kind of. I mean, the one thing about the Sunshine Coast which keeps writers from coming here is there's no trains. So it's
Right.
it's just walls.
Right.
That's one thing that kind of
Is the ferry.
it's, I mean, the ferry's whatever, but there's no trains to paint. Graffiti is trains. So,
You can't really tag a ferry.
I mean, whoo, damn, you put that in the universe. That's going to happen now.
Shit. My apologies to BC ferries.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
You were saying, so, okay, so this wall on the side, the one that we're painting over because, you know, there are reasons why we don't want paint there. You're saying hasn't been that bad before.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot more action on that wall as of this summer. I think more people are visiting the coast and there's like, look at the influx of tourists the last couple of years since COVID, like it's blown up here.
Yeah.
And graph community are tourists too, and they're just coming out and the town is a lot more smashed than it was in the past. So that wall just got obliterated this summer.
What do you want people to understand about why this kind of artwork is more good than bad for a community?
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not going to make everybody happy, and not everybody is going to be accepting.
That's not the
get
job.
it.
That's not the job anyway. Right?
Yeah, it's not the job anyway. But honestly, with graffiti and skateboarding, it's really just a gateway drug to all arts, right? How many famous contemporary artists started out as graffiti writers, started out as skaters? It's just what pulls kids in. This is youth culture.
Yeah.
It makes kids who maybe are going to art classes or see art as, I don't know, oil paint, watercolors, maybe something they're not necessarily drawn to. But I guarantee you every single kid that sees paint come out of a spray can in a million different colors and sees this like rebellious act of putting your name up is gonna wanna do it. So after they get in, that's how we get kids into art. And then they evolve into something else once they start learning more.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So I mean, you're never gonna make people happy. You're never gonna make everyone love seeing tags on the side of their business. But the silver lining is that kids can get into art through graffiti, you know? It's just all about the desire to create.
Ben Tour is a Sunshine Coast artist and illustrator. keep an eye out for his beautiful pieces all over town, all along the coast, and find him on Instagram. Grab a link in the show notes. I want to thank Nico at Nico Coastal Homes again for sponsoring this episode, but I should mention, actually, Nico and Ben know each other just a little bit from back in their respective Vancouver days. But that's not all they have in common. Both have been featured artists and have put on shows at the Cube in the past year. In fact, Nico's show, Free Your Best Offer, was the focus of Secret Sunshine's very first episode. So if you haven't heard it, or if you want to hear it again, I threw a link in the show notes so you can go check it out. You'll also find a link to Nico Coastal Homes. Thanks, Nico, for sponsoring this weird little podcast. Secret Sunshine is produced by me. I'm Dominic Gerard. The show's original theme is composed and performed by Max Henry. Also, for this episode, Ben Tour took a sec and hand drew a custom logo. You'll find it in the podcast artwork. Just look at it on your device. Ben, thanks a lot. It looks great. Thanks to the Gibsons Curling Club for allowing me to record this episode while painting and buffing out that wall. Find out everything you need to know about this show at secretsunshine.ca. I'm aiming to shoot another episode your way in just a few weeks. Look at that. Another end of episode and another clue about the next guest. See you soon.